blood. From Genesis to Revelation, it is Jesus. I know when you get to some of those chapters, we were having a Bible readathon in the old church when I was a kid. I mean, way on down the old church at 16th and Day Street. And we had Aunt Lucy, and Daddy had a little church built inside of a church. And we were going to read the whole Bible through like we do 24-hour prayer. We're going to have 24-hour Bible reading. So you could go there and listen to these people read. Well, Aunt Lucy ended up with the chapters of the begat so-and-so, begat so-and-so, begat so-and-so. And she got a hold of some of those names that were that long. And when she got through pronouncing them, it was worse than me trying to preach them. But there's one thing that it always led to. No matter how many begats, no matter how many names, no matter how many genealogies, no matter how many generations, it's all leading to one thing. Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given. And the government shall be upon his shoulders. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. There's no name like Jesus. I've been preaching on it now 10 minutes, and some of you hadn't clapped your hands yet. I wish Brother Gary was here and I had $10 bills. I could just say, I'll give you $10 if you'll clap your hands. I guarantee you some of them would beat you to death. When I'm preaching about a name that saved you, I'm preaching about a name that's healed you, I'm preaching about a name that's delivered you, I'm preaching about a name that's brought you out. There's no name like Jesus. You may be seated. There is no name under heaven whereby we must be saved. You may say it over and over again. The name of Jesus is above. Everybody say above. Above every name that can be named. Not only in this world, but also in that which is to come. Name the disease. It's above it. Name what failure you've had. It's above it. Name what sin you committed. It's above it. Name whatever shackles or has you bound. It's above it. Name whatever's keeping you from coming to Him. It's above it. The name of Jesus is above everything that has you bound. I got news for you this morning. The only reason you're going to leave here depressed is because you want to. The only reason you're going to leave here bound by your habit is because you want to. The reason why you're going to leave here with no joy this morning is because you want to. Because I'm preaching a name to you that in the next few minutes when I get through preaching, it'll set you free from anything that has you bound. That name of Jesus has authority. It is without limits. It is endless. It is boundless. Every realm yields to Jesus Christ. He quieted the sea. He withered the fig tree to manifest His power over natural elements. He rode an untamed coat. He told a bunch of fish to move that way. They moved that way, ran into the disciples' net, and broke all their nets. Demons were cowered at His command. He walked to a man that was living in a graveyard, cutting himself, doing all kind of wild things. A streaker, the Bible said he was naked. And Jesus walked there and commanded them devils to leave. They got out of Him and got into pigs. And the pig says, we can't stand this devil, so they ran off in the sea and drowned themselves. Some pigs have more sense than human. They'd rather die than be possessed of the devil. Demons have to go when you say that name. Sickness has to subside when you say that name. He walked one day, there was a bier, which is a casket, was coming, and the widow lady had her son there. He simply walks over and touched that casket, and that boy pops up out of that casket. He walks to Lazarus' grave and screams, Lazarus, come forth, and he does. So what do you have with you this morning that is dead? If He raised Lazarus, if He raised the widow of Nain's son, I don't know what's dead in your life, but He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He can speak and bring life. He not only spoke to trees and they turned. He not only spoke to animals and fish and they changed. He also spoke to water. And that water was turned to wine. If He can turn water to wine, if He can take a donkey and calm its nature, if He can curse a fig tree and the figs dry up, He can surely take care of whatever problem you have. Let me say it again. Let me say it loud. There is nobody like Jesus. I don't care what you've done. I know I read this, but I want to read it again. Noah was a drunk. Abraham was too old. Isaac was a daydreamer. Jacob was a liar. Leah was ugly. Joseph was abused. Moses had a stuttering problem. Gideon was afraid. Samson had long hair and was a womanizer. Rahab was a prostitute. Jeremiah and Timothy were too young. David had an affair and was a murderer. Elijah was suicidal. Isaiah preached naked. Jonah ran from God. Naomi was a widow. Job went bankrupt. Peter denied Jesus. The disciples fell asleep while he was praying. Martha worried about everything. Mary Magdalene, well, I don't even want to talk about her. The Samaritan woman was divorced more than once. Zacchaeus was too small. Paul was too religious. Lazarus was dead. But the Lord used every one of them. Now, what's your problem? Well, you don't know what I've done. No, and you don't know what they did. You don't know how bad I've been. No, you don't know how bad they've been. But when you come to Jesus, He takes care of everything.